My name's Aaron Shanahan with Lolug, Lincoln Omaha Lego User Group, and this is my bag end mock. It's really just kind of, I went online and looked up floor plans for bag end and found a floor plan and then just kind of went with that and tried to kind of incorporate some of the same look that the original Lego bag end set had, but kind of give it my own twist. So built the whole, it's only like the front end, technically bag end's a lot bigger, but it's got the main entrance, the living room, kitchen, dining room, study, bedroom, and then the storage room in the back door don't have any interior to them, but everything else has a full interior. And yeah, just kind of one of those where...
That is super impressive. Before we show the interiors, let's talk about the front section here a little bit. The gardening, the landscaping really stands out here, so take us through some of the different elements of that.
Oh yeah, it's one of those where they say that all hobbits share a love of things that grow, so I figured kind of have to get as many plants and flowers and stuff like that as possible, and then try to incorporate a little carrot garden, a tomato plant, some onions and some corn and stuff, but otherwise just kind of going with a lot of flowers and plant life and stuff, and then just kind of tried to make the top a little bit more natural, like the top of a hill would be. So
Yeah. And what elements do you find work for that here? Because you've got kind of slopes coming down the front, but then you've got to make that rounded hill section as well.
Yep. Because originally I didn't have the two slope sections. It was just flat all the way across, and it looked good, but I didn't want to have to try to make all of the hill look with the landscaping elements. So I decided to go back, get a few more slopes, and kind of make it, a little slope there, so it just looks more like a rolling hill effect. So. And then adding, like I said, the elements on top to try to get the height, the taller elements on the taller parts, just to kind of really help with the flow of the land. So
Perfect. And then this giant tree stands out as well here. So it looks like quite a beefy design there for that. Talk about how you put that together.
That was actually it's salvaged from an old mock. It's my Haunted Tower Runes mock that I made a few years ago for the Classic Castle contest. And then I was finally taking it apart this year, and I said, well, hey, bag end needs a giant tree on top. So I had to redo the bottom trunk because it was originally growing out of a tower, so you couldn't see the bottom trunk. It was just like the top limbs and stuff. So I defoliated it, took it apart, rebuilt a good base for it, and then just built it on a base plate that I could set on top because it actually is in two different sections. So that kind of seals the middle section together. So... But yeah, just a bunch of slopes and kind of tried to make it look as close to, what you'd see in the movie or whatever, where it's just a little bit of a trunk and then just a big canopy of a tree. So.
Right. Well, it certainly looks impressive from this side, so let's go around back now and we'll take a look inside.
Now the full interior starts with the bedroom. It's just, pretty simple. Wooden floor, a nice little fireplace, bed, the dresser actually opens with a couple different outfits for him to wear.
Nice play features inside.
Yeah. It was one of those where I kind of wanted to make it. My wife and I just had our first child, so it's one of those where in the future I wanted to start building stuff that he could play with a little bit more. And it's always one of those where it's fun to see the outside, but then to know that there's a full inside and, like you said, the kind of the play element with it, where a kid could spend hours imagining all the different scenes from the books and movies and stuff like that. So yeah, it was fun. I usually don't do many interiors. This is one of my first big interiors, so that was kind of a little bit of a learning curve, but luckily there's enough good builders out there to where you look at some of their work, get some ideas, and just let it flow. So
perfect. What do we have after that then?
After the bedroom is the study.
I noticed you've made it easy on yourself to really remove these roof sections, which is important for interiors.
Yes. Originally, I had a few too many stud pieces to try to hold them down, and it was a little bit more difficult to pop it up without messing it up any of the landscaping. So I went to just like 1 to 2 stud pieces. The next section actually doesn't have any because it's so big that it's easier just to rest it right on the top. But yeah, and then the study where Bilbo wrote his book and looks at his old maps and all that stuff. And yeah, just kind of tried a few different things, tried to do a little like painting type effect. So yeah, just a lot of fun little details. Like I said, just new stuff that I'd never really done before, that it was fun to try new things and see how they work and see how people receive them.
Right.
So.
Keep moving through it here.
Yep. And then next section is the kitchen, or the dining room, excuse me, which I made extra big so that I could do the scene from The Hobbit where they have the big dinner with all the dwarves. Unfortunately, I don't have enough minifigures for it yet. That's the next step. Is kind of the minifigures are probably going to cost almost as much as the rest of the mock did, but yeah, just a big dining room, big table where I figure hobbits love food and love entertaining, so you figure the dining room would probably be a pretty big main focal point of the hobbit-hole itself. So yeah, just try to do a big dining room, stack of wood, fireplace.
The dishes and food covering the table is perfect. You just need so much stuff on there.
Yep, yeah, and like I said, I have a few more elements that I need to start getting. I want to get some of the red meat on the bone and just a bunch of other elements like that just to finish it out, but the cost of everything else it's still a work in progress.
Slowly but surely. Yeah. I like the wood on the table as well, those wood pieces.
Thank you. Yeah, I tried to somewhat incorporate as much as I could to make it so it wasn't just all that reddish brown, dark brown for the wood. I figured the table would be a little bit lighter colored. So yeah, just a few different, like storage areas for plates and stuff, and yeah.
Fantastic.
I'll just leave that off. That'll be fine. And then after that is the kitchen, which is the same kind of thing. I still need to do a little bit more work on the interior and, minifigures and stuff. But kind of the same thing where figure hobbits love food, so you got to have a big kitchen, big dining room, and, we got some different little elements in there, some herbs drying on a herb rack and some food on the
actual cheese wedges there.
Yep. Yeah, I can't wait. I actually need to replace those with the real cheese wedges from the last collectible minifigure series. So, but yeah, just food on the shelves and all the fixings you'd need to get a good giant feast going.
Very important.
Yes, definitely. And then after the kitchen is the living room. If I don't break the whole thing getting it back together, which is always a trick. Or the parlor, I guess, technically. And then my Tom Bombadil figures. but yeah, and then got of course, you got to have the fireplace going so you can read the Ring of Truth, or the Ring of Power, and see what it says. But yeah, just, like I said, just kind of another interior. Try to do some, couches, chairs, things you might see in a comfy little hobbit hole.
No, that's great. Brick-built furniture always looks so nice like that. It fits very nicely with the room.
Yep, I agree. And like I said, it's one of those where I hadn't really done much furniture, so another one of those, just kind of a learning curve. Look at tutorials and stuff from other builders and incorporate some of my own ideas and just try to make it all work out. And I think so far it's done pretty well.
An immense amount of brown tiles throughout this build.
Yes. They're between brown tile and dark green plates, the wedge plates and just normal plates. There's a lot. If I ever take this thing apart, I'll have a lot of pieces again. But I don't think I'll be taking it apart anytime soon. Took a lot of work to put it together, and this is, honestly, it's one of my favorite books and movies, so kind of really hits home for me. And then the last one is just the little entrance room, which I still need to build a chandelier for. But yeah, and then just the main entrance with the Ring of Power, where after Bilbo dropped it and walked out the door and gave it up forever. So yeah, that's just that's about it. On the door is one of those where people asked if they were actual printed green tiles, and I said nope, I just had to buy a bunch of sticker sets and cut down stickers and put them on the green tiles. But I think it ended up looking, I was going to use just the original door from the actual Hobbit set, but I think that looks a little bit better. It's not functional, which is one thing that I do kind of want to go back and maybe try to get it to open, but so far so good, I think. I'm happy with it anyway.
No, this is great. All of the different rooms and the outside all look fantastic. When you bring this to a show, how many sections does this break down into?
Originally I had 3 sections, but where this slope comes up, it was just too tight. So this is just 2 sections. It's this one and then that one. It basically stops at the kitchen, and then, yeah, it breaks apart. And luckily, my wife's a shipping manager, at the job she's at. So she was actually able to get me a guitar box, which fit this half perfectly. And same thing with the other one. I just need a few more, bubble packers to get it to not move around. But yeah, I was actually really happy with how it traveled up here.
Very important for Lego fans to have a shipping manager in their life when coming to a show.
Yes, it does make a huge difference, because that's always the challenge is, oh man, getting it loaded up, getting it to the show, unloading it, fingers crossed. Okay, how much do I have to rebuild on it? And honestly, there's a few, little plants and stuff that fell off, but other than that, it was pretty well still together. The tree I put together here because I wasn't too confident about traveling that tall of a tree too easily, but yeah, I think everything worked out pretty well for me, luckily.
It's a spectacular build, and I want to make sure we show off your award if you want to pick this up over here and show it to the camera as well. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I never would have thought for a second that I would have won Builder of the Plains. It's to be in the company of people that have won this award it's actually like, it's kind of mind-blowing, to be honest. Like, when I got a couple messages like, hey, you won or Builder of the Plains. I was just like, what? Like, are you serious? I won Builder of the Plains? Because, there's a lot of really good builds around here. So, yeah, I humbled and honored, to be honest, to have gotten an award like that. Like I said, to be in the company of the people that have won this award it's an honor.
It's well deserved, and I can't wait to see what you bring in future years. So keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.